Have you ever wondered about this?
Why do people defend decisions even when they know they're wrong? I mean, you've seen it, right? Someone just digs their heels in long after it's obvious they made a bad call. And what about this one? Why does saying yes to a tiny little favor almost always lead to you saying yes to a much bigger one later on?
And the scary part? Most of the time, people don't even notice it's happening. It's this invisible force at play, guiding our choices from just beneath the surface. Well, the answer to both those questions is a powerful psychological rule called commitment and consistency. And today, I'm going to show you how it quietly controls so many of our everyday decisions.
So let's dive into what I call the consistency trap. To really get how powerful this is, we've got to look at how it all starts, with just one tiny little yes. The principle itself is actually pretty straightforward. We humans have this deep-seated need to be and to look consistent with what we've done before. Once we make a choice, any choice, we feel this huge pressure, both from ourselves and from others, to stick with it. But why? Why is this drive so incredibly powerful? What is going on in our brains that makes us so stubborn? Well, the main culprit is something called cognitive dissonance. A psychologist named Leon Festinger figured this out way back in 1957. It's that antsy, uncomfortable feeling you get when your actions don't line up with your beliefs. It's like mental static. And to make that static go away, we do something kind of weird. We often change our beliefs to match what we've already done. And it's not just about avoiding that mental itch. There are other big forces at play. For one, our self-perception. We want to see ourselves as steady and reliable. Then there's social pressure. Nobody wants to look flaky or wishy-washy. And finally, there's a big one, effort justification. If you've poured months into a project, you're going to justify that effort by seeing it through, right? Backing down feels like admitting all that hard work was for nothing. It's a really powerful cocktail of motivations.
Now, this all sounds like a good theory, but don't just take my word for it. This whole idea is backed by decades of really fascinating research. Let's look at some of the classic experiments that prove just how powerful a yes can be.
One of the most famous examples comes from a 1966 study by Friedman and Fraser. They came up with this brilliant experiment to see just how far they could stretch an initial commitment.
Here's how it worked. First, they went door to door in a neighborhood with a super small request. Would you mind signing this petition for safe driving? It was an easy yes. Then they waited 2 weeks. After that, a totally different person went back to those same houses with a much, much bigger request. Would you be willing to put this huge, kinda ugly drive safely sign on your front lawn?
The results were just staggering. The folks who were only asked to put up the big sign, almost all of them said no. But the group who had signed that tiny petition 2 weeks earlier, they were way more